Hey, what's up, everyone? Getting back on Campionato TV here. Um, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter, X, and follow us on Spotify. I'm getting on here for my weekly podcast. Um, on this podcast, I'm going to be talking about the Super Cup, the Italian Super Cup, that just concluded this past Monday with Inter and AC Milan, with AC Milan winning. First of all, I would like to just say that, I don't have a problem. I don't have any issues. Like, I've heard other podcasters and other people, talk about, having the Super Cup outside of the country that it's related to. They're not for it, but I really don't have a problem with that. I think it's a good idea. Um, Listen, I'm a cultural, purist. I want to see, football. That's my passion. That's what I want to see. But I do understand there's a financial aspect to the game. And for those that have been following, football for a long time, especially in the 90s and the early 2000s, like I've said before in other videos, the Premier League, they've just gotten such financial strength, and that impacts us, the Italian football and Serie A, and so it impacts us in many ways. And I really don't want to get into how it impacts us, but impacts you know um, salaries of players, getting, keeping coaches, keeping players, et cetera, et cetera. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. I don't have a problem with it being in Saudi Arabia. I think I was a little disappointed when I watched the Inter Atalanta game and some of the stadium wasn't full, which I really don't understand why it's not full. I could only mean one of two things, or one of a couple things. I mean, maybe the people in Saudi Arabia, they're not too familiar with Italian football, and they don't understand who Inter is, Atalanta, and they're becoming a new market for Italian football, and that's fine. You know, you know. So to me, that was likely what it is. I mean, who wouldn't want to go see an Inter Milan team? A team as a historic team as Inter, one of the most successful Italian teams and European teams. Currently, the best rated team in the world at that time before they lost to AC Milan. Was them and then Liverpool. I don't understand who wouldn't want to go see that if you're a football fan and it's in your area. And then Atalanta, it's probably one of the best teams in the last 5-10 years. But I was a little disappointed by that. But the Juventus AC Milan game and definitely the final, the fans came, and I was glad to see that. And hopefully, that market for Italian football and Serie A, it becomes more lucrative, and it helps out. So I don't have a problem with that. I think that's great, smart business. Italian football. Italian football. I mean, if you look back at our teams, Serie A, we have some teams that were formed in the 1800s. At this point, we should have been, globalized 25, 30 years ago. So, globalizing, that's just, in my opinion, that's, the smart business. And you look at all these leagues in the United States. I mean, MLS, it's been around for what, 20, 30 years. And, they're a baby. They have a quarter, like American football really is so young compared to Italian football, and they're already, trying to, get international appeal with, getting players, international players, stuff like that, with Messi and stuff like that. So, going to other countries to, broadcast college shows, it's fine. It's fine with me. Helps the league and helps the brand. It's fine with me. I would like to see it come back to the United States. I think that would have been cool if they had the Supercup, in the Northeast over here. I think you saw a post of mine. You may have saw a post of mine on Instagram earlier this week. I think Monday or maybe last week. I posted that for many you didn't know the Italian Supercup, which wasn't a semifinal then a final. It was just the Coppa Italia final champion and the Serie A champion. It was actually in the United States in the early 2000s, and I remember going to that game. It was Juventus versus AC Milan at the Giant Stadium at that time, and there was about 60,000 people in the stadium. I would like to see it come back to United States. I think it would be well received, especially in the Northeast, with a lot of Italians being in the Northeast. Or somewhere else in the country is fine too. I think soccer in this country has it's grown and still has a lot to grow. But I think that would be cool. I don't know if the right stadium would be MetLife Stadium in New Jersey or something of that size. I don't know that it would be filled up fully. I know in the early 2000s there was 50,000 at Giant Stadium. MetLife Stadium, I think, is an 80,000 seat stadium. I would love for it to be. I would go to all three games probably because I live in this area. Good moves by the Serie A. And you talk a little bit about the games. Well, this podcast is primarily going to talk about the final, but just for those, my 2 cents on the semifinals. Inter they they seem to have Atalanta's number. Atalanta, they got they were a little unlucky with that offside goal that would have got them back in the game. But I do also realize that Atalanta, they weren't playing their strongest lineup probably. They came in later, in the game. I'm sure Atalanta and these teams, Inter, AC Milan, they probably have physios and physical therapists that track all the players and what they play, how many minutes they play, and they're doing management of their team because they play a lot of games. I mean, so I get it, but Inter has had their number, and they ended up winning 2-0 and moving on. And the other game, the Juventus game versus AC Milan, Juventus is winning, and then AC Milan comes back. Pulisic, I think, got very lucky. I think AC Milan got very lucky in this game. Yeah, it was a penalty kick, but Pulisic, he kicked the ball right down the middle. Di Gregorio, he's probably a little confused. And I'm sure he researched the penalty kick takers of this team before, and they have the data on that, on what side they go, and what's the probability and all that stuff. But so he looked like he was confused that the ball went down the middle. But having said that, they they got the PK, and that other one with Musa, the deflection off, I believe it was Gatti into the net. So, hey, this is football, man. This is calcio. You need some luck sometimes. The ball's round, anything can happen, and that's what happens when you're desperate. And in that game, they were down 1-0, and they were desperate in the second half. And they were attacking, and that's the kind of stuff that happens when you attack. And maybe I didn't watch that game that closely, but maybe in the second half, Mota, he was taking he had a 1-goal lead, and he was trying to manage a game like that, and it backfired. I don't know for sure because I didn't watch every minute of it. I was listening to it, but Milan. They went to the final and they played Inter. Um, which again, I was happy that the stadium was full and looked like they had a really nice presentation, and it looks like the fans had a lot of fun over there. Especially since AC Milan they came back. Just to go through that game. Um, Lautaro, he scores the goal at the end of the first half, which any soccer coach will tell you is kind of like the worst time to to let up a goal, especially when it's tied 0-0. You let up a goal at the end of the first half, it's like a big sucker punch. And then to add insult to injury, Taremi, he scores right in the beginning of the second half, and it's 2-0. And so at that point, it looked really good. And then again, similar to the AC Milan game, the Juventus game, AC Milan, they brought in Leao over there, and the guy, I mean, he is something else, man. When he wants to run, he just is very fast, and it's actually very impressive that he just brushes right by professional soccer players like nothing when he wants to run. And yeah, um, so they end up coming back, and Teo Hernandez takes the free kick, and what I was a little confused of is, again, I wasn't a goalie when I played, but I played a lot of football, watched a lot of football, and coached a lot of football, and for me, Teo Hernandez, he's a left-footed, you know, player. And if, for my recollection, he was kind of like, centered or slightly to the left, taking that kick. And so Summers, if you're looking at the goal, Summers, he lines up his wall on the right side, right? To cover the right side of the goal. And then Lautaro was on, if you're looking at the goal, if you're Teo Hernandez, was on the left a little bit. And you really never know what Teo Hernandez is going to do. Whether he's going to, if he's looking at the goal, he's going to shoot to the left, or who knows, maybe he could go to the right. You never know. But you have the goal, the right side of the goal, while you're looking at it covered. And Summers, I mean, he was like in the middle of a goal. Usually, you favor him to the right a little bit. And, Teo Hernandez shoots the ball. He curves it in inside of his foot, curves it in. You're looking at the goal, curves it in his, to the left. And it misses Lautaro by, an inch. I mean, if it just deflects off him, it's probably not going in. But I was a little, a little shocked that Summer was that, that centralized, and his wall was covering, half of the goal. But anyways, it was 2-1. And right there and then 2-0. It's the worst score, in a game. So now they're back into the game. It seemed like the fans there were predominantly, AC Milan. They wanted AC Milan to win, and yeah, and these guys like Pulisic and Teo and Leao and Teo Hernandez, they're a handful, and then comes the second goal in the 80th minute or so over there. Leao, he goes right by Pulisic over there, I believe, just like nothing. I mean, it's actually like, I'm like, how is he getting by that guy so fast like that, And I guess when Leao got the ball, he went, he was, like a couple steps, he was almost in the box, and Pulisic probably let him go because he didn't want to give him a penalty kick. He crossed the ball, and Bastoni was right there, and again, he looked like he could have gotten the ball, and he, for some reason didn't get to it. Pulisic came right in front of him, and he scored a goal. And similar to the game before with Juventus and and Pulisic shooting the ball right down the middle, and the goalie, kind of like seemed shocked. I feel like, like Pulisic, the guy, he's doing like the unthinkable, like in these people like Di Gregorio and Bastoni. They're not anticipating somebody's gonna do this out of the ordinary stuff, and that happened again in the second game where Bastoni seemed to be like he was going to him, and Pulisic goes right in front of him, hits it with his left, and it's a goal. And I'm earlier on that, Bastoni, he made the good save, with his head over there. But I just again, I'm not playing, but I just was a little shocked that Bastoni, probably one of the most expensive defenders, what didn't get to that ball, and allow Pulisic to get in front of him and make that. Yeah, I mean, listen, mistakes happen. He's going to learn from it. He's still, in my opinion, world-class defender, and that's that. And then the final goal over there, again, it was created by, more or less. It was created more or less by Pulisic. He dribbles in a little bit, and then Leao makes a run. He sends a diagonal pass, and again, who is marking Leao over here? I mean, I was just shocked that a team like Inter, that they letting them run free like that unmarked, and Leao crossed it, and Tammy, Abraham is right there. So yeah, that's what happened. Listen, anybody that has been following Italian football for a long time, they know that Italians, they're the master of defense. They're master of seeing out games, 1-0, 2-0. But again, I don't know if Simone Inzaghi, he made any tactical changes here, but it seemed like after they scored, they were more they were more went into more of like a defensive, manage the game out type situation, which I get, but it backfired. And sometimes you see this, with Italian clubs, that they get a lead and, they try to manage out and they lose. And, this AC Milan team, I mean, they got some, I was disappointed with this, but I mean, they got some really, really fast runners on that team. And I'm not, saying that Italian, footballers are not fast runners. Some of them are, but they got some really fast runners on the team, and, high endurance, and, to just sit back and allow Leao and Pulisic and Teo Hernandez and Tammy Abraham to basically open the floodgates. And, Conceição was probably like, listen, go do whatever you got to do. We gotta get back in this game. I feel like it's not the right approach. I mean, I've seen this a million times when, I was not happy about this. The whole AC Milan team, there was not even one starting Italian player on that team. And to me, the DNA of AC Milan has always been, the Italian, Italian players, coaches, whatever. You don't want to have an Italian coach, whatever. I know it's owned by American now, and Zlatan is Swedish, and he's calling some shots over there. But there was not one Italian player on that team. And, I've seen in the past, sometimes, we go to England. It was maybe 10, 15 years ago, Roma, they played Manchester United. they played Manchester United in the Champions League, and they won in Roma. I want to say it was like 3-1 or something like that. And they ended up, going back to Manchester, and this was when they had Totti and these guys, and Rodrigo Tadei and De Rossi, and players like this. And they ended up getting blitzed like 7-2, because I feel like when you take that conservative defensive approach, when you feel comfortable to try to, maybe hit him on a counterattack or catch him out, it backfires sometimes. And to me, that's what happened in this game, because those types of profile of player AC Milan got right now, even though, like I said, that's good that they have them, but I think the DNA of the team needs to be Italian, in the midfield, which I guess they're trying to get Ichi in the defense, and so be it. But when you got that kind of profile of player that could run forever, and they just very super aggressive, like Pulisic and Leao and Teo Hernandez, it could backfire on you. And once the avalanche starts, it's 2-0. They score a goal, and they got some life. It's tough, and they ended up losing. I realized, Inter didn't have Thuram playing, and Mkhitaryan got injured, and they were probably looking out for load management too. I get it. I mean, I play. I try to stay fit too, and run that much running. It's a lot. It's a lot on you. So, anyways, congratulations to AC Milan. I saw on CBS here in the United States, some people on the Paramount Plus show there, that they were saying that the AC Milan, they were going a little too crazy for that victory because it was a Super Cup win. Listen, that's fine with me, man. I'm fine with them celebrating like that. You beat your biggest rivalry. This is arguably the biggest rival game in all of world football, if not the top, maybe, definitely top 5. So I'm fine with that. We'll see how AC Milan does now going forward. Maybe those players were just so happy that Fonseca, wasn't there anymore, and they didn't like how he was doing things, and they were just very motivated to win. I said it before the competition started. I said AC Milan's going to win now, because those players over there, they got to try to prove to the coach who's going to be the starter, and it's like a new lease on life for those guys. So, and they won. I said they were going to win, and honestly, to tell you the truth, the hardest thing to do, in my opinion, is to maintain, playing. This energetic and this aggressive. So we'll see how AC Milan fares. So they're playing Cagliari in Saturday in Serie A. We'll see how they do, and we'll see how they finish up in the Champions League. But if they continue to play like that, I know AC Milan fans would like to hear this, but I think the team is a very dangerous team in the Champions League, honestly, to tell you the truth. If Manchester City or Liverpool or one of these teams, one of these, more likely team, Bayern Munich, one of these, like favorite teams to win the Champions League. If you told me, if I didn't watch any football this year, and a team like Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, if you told me, and I didn't watch any football this year, that one of those teams beat Inter Milan twice, beat Real Madrid at Real Madrid, I would say that's probably a favorite to go win the Champions League. But nobody's saying that about AC Milan. And I'm not really saying it either, but if they're going to play like that, then that's a tough team to beat. So we'll see. We'll see if Conceição, and the team, keeps it going. I hope they keep it going. Again, I don't like the fact that I like to see, the Serie A teams with at least, majority of the team Italian. I know that I was watching an Italian, and the announcers, they said that this has never happened before. I think that the AC Milan never had an Italian player playing. So, but anyways, congratulations to them. We'll see how they continue on the season, and let me know what you guys think. If you agree with what I had to say, And hey, celebrate that trophy. That's a nice trophy. I held that, and I think it is a very nice trophy. And congratulations to them. They continue like that. It's a very dangerous team. But guys, make sure you watch my video. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, like my posts on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Spotify, follow me on Twitter. It helps me out. I do this to provide, my audience with the best possible analysis and information about that I could provide about Italian football and what's going on, and it helps me out a lot. So, anyways, have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you.